You think nothing is happening. That is the mistake. Because this is the exact moment when everything is happening, but not where you are used to looking. Not in the bank account, not in messages, not in opportunities, not in movement. It is happening in the only place that ever mattered, your identity. And identity never changes loudly. It dissolves in silence. There is a phase nobody talks about, the phase where you stop reacting. But nothing has changed yet. You stop checking, stop chasing, stop trying to fix, stop trying to force. And for a few days or weeks, it feels like a void, a dangerous void, because the old version of you starts whispering, "See, nothing is working. Go back to doing something. Go back to worrying. Go back to reacting." But you don't. You stay still. And that stillness is not weakness. It is the funeral of your old identity. Most people never reach this point, because this is where anxiety screams the loudest. The ego cannot survive silence. The old financial identity cannot survive non-reaction. The scarcity self cannot survive the absence of emotional participation. So it tries to pull you back into movement, checking, worrying, doubting, reacting. Because if you react, you become the old you again. And the old you is the only version reality knows how to mirror. This is why nothing moves at first, because reality is confused. You are no longer sending the old signals, but you are not yet stabilized in the new identity. So there is a gap, a silent gap. And this gap feels like nothing, no signs, no proof, no change, just silence. But this silence is not empty. It is reorganization. This is the part Florence spoke about when she said, "Stand still and see the salvation." Because standing still is not passivity. It is the refusal to feed the old self with emotional reactions. And when you stop feeding it, it begins to starve. Slowly, quietly, irreversibly. You don't notice the moment it dies. There is no dramatic shift. One day you simply realize you don't feel the urge to check anymore. You don't feel fear anymore. You don't feel the need to control anymore. And that is the sign, not external movement, internal neutrality. That is when reality begins to move. Because reality does not respond to what you want. It responds to who you are being. And now, you are being someone who does not react to lack. Someone who does not panic. Someone who does not chase. Someone who does not emotionally participate in scarcity. And reality has no choice but to reorganize around this new version. But it does it quietly, behind the scenes, out of sight. This is why the manifestation always looks like it came from nowhere. A message, an opportunity, money, a shift. And you think, when did this start happening? It started in the days when nothing was happening. Those were the days you stopped feeding the old identity. Those were the days you allowed the silence. Those were the days you didn't react. And that is when the old self dissolved. So if you are in this phase right now, where nothing seems to move, do not break the silence. Do not go back to reacting. Do not interrupt the reorganization. Because this is the most delicate, powerful, irreversible part of the process. The void is not the absence of movement. It is the absence of the old you. And when the old you is gone, reality no longer knows how to produce the old results. It is forced to produce something new. And here is the part almost nobody understands. You are not waiting for reality to change. Reality is waiting for you to stop returning to who you were. Every reaction is a return. Every worry is a return. Every mental argument is a return. Every emotional fluctuation is a return to the identity that created the problem. This is why non-reaction is so powerful. It is not spiritual discipline. It is identity discipline. When you truly stop reacting, something subtle begins to happen. Your nervous system stops expecting lack. Your body stops preparing for disappointment. Your mind stops rehearsing negative scenarios. Your emotions stop anticipating loss. And this is critical because the subconscious does not respond to words. It responds to what the body expects. And now, the body is no longer expecting the old story. This is when the script starts to change. At first, it feels unnatural. You almost feel irresponsible for not worrying. You feel like you should be doing something, because for years doing something meant thinking, analyzing, anticipating, controlling. But now you are doing the most powerful thing possible. You are not participating, and reality cannot continue a story without your participation. This is the silent law Florence hinted at, but most people miss. Life feeds on your emotional consent. Scarcity needs your reaction. Delay needs your attention. Problems need your emotional involvement. Remove that, and they lose structure. They begin to collapse quietly, not with noise, with disappearance. You won't see the collapse happening. You will only notice one day that what used to trigger you doesn't exist anymore. The bill gets resolved. The opportunity appears. The conversation shifts. The money comes. The door opens. And there is no drama attached to it, because the drama belonged to the old identity. This is why the void phase feels so uncomfortable. You are addicted to emotional movement. And now there is none. No fear. No hope. No anxiety. No urgency. Just presence. And presence feels like nothing until you realize presence is the birthplace of new reality. Most people sabotage this stage. They interpret silence as failure. They go back to checking for signs. They go back to forcing affirmations. They go back to emotional effort. And the moment they do, they resurrect the old identity, and reality immediately returns to the old pattern, not because manifestation failed, but because identity reverted. You must understand this clearly. This stage requires no technique, no visualization, no affirmations, no methods. Only one thing: do not react. That is all. Because when you don't react long enough, you cross an invisible line, a line where the old self no longer has enough energy to come back. And when you try to worry again, it feels fake, forced, unnatural. That is the sign. The shift is permanent. Now reality can move fast because there is no internal resistance left to negotiate with. No contradictory signals, no emotional noise, no identity conflict, just stillness. And stillness is what allows reality to reorganize with precision. So if you feel like you are in a strange emotional emptiness, if you feel detached from the problem, if you feel oddly calm about things that used to terrify you, you are not losing interest. You are losing the old identity. And this is the exact threshold where visible change begins. Do not interrupt it. Do not question it. Do not analyze it. Stay in the silence, because the silence is doing more than effort ever could. Stay there a little longer than feels comfortable, because this is the corridor between identities. Behind you is the person who reacted to everything. Ahead of you is the person reality now responds to effortlessly. And in this corridor, nothing seems to be happening. But this is where everything is being decided. You may notice time feels different here. Days pass without emotional spikes. Situations that once consumed your mind now pass like distant noise. You stop narrating your problems to yourself. This is not indifference. This is detachment from authorship of the old story. You are no longer reinforcing it with attention. And without attention, the old narrative starves. It cannot survive in silence. It needs commentary. It needs interpretation. It needs emotional fuel. You are giving it none. So it begins to dissolve. Quietly, naturally, without announcement. This is why visible change often happens when you least expect it. Because you stopped watching, you stopped measuring, you stopped asking, is it working? And in that absence of surveillance, reality is free to rearrange itself. Florence taught that the word is the wand, but what most people miss is this. After the word is spoken, silence must follow, because silence is trust. Silence is non-interference. Silence is the proof that you are no longer trying to control the outcome. Now you are simply allowing the law to operate. And laws do not need supervision. They only need alignment. You have already done your part by not returning to who you were. Soon, you will notice small shifts. Not dramatic, subtle. A message, an idea, an unexpected opening, a change in someone's behavior. These are not coincidences. These are the first visible movements of a reality that no longer recognizes the old you. Do not celebrate too early. Do not analyze. Do not become emotionally excited, because excitement is also a form of reaction. Remain steady, calm, neutral, certain. Let the changes accumulate quietly. One day, you will look back and realize the problem did not get solved. It became irrelevant. It disappeared from the script of your life because the character who experienced it no longer exists. This is the true meaning of transformation, not fixing circumstances, outgrowing the version of you to whom those circumstances belonged. And this happens not through effort, but through non-reaction sustained long enough for identity to dissolve. So if you feel like nothing is happening, if you feel like you are in a strange emotional emptiness, if you feel detached from outcomes, you are exactly where you need to be. Do not move. Do not interfere. Do not return. Because the silence you are in right now is the space where your new life is being written. And as this silence deepens, you may begin to notice something unexpected. A lightness, not because everything is solved, but because you are no longer carrying the psychological weight of needing it to be solved. This is freedom before evidence. This is peace before proof. You are no longer negotiating with reality. You are no longer asking it to change. You are no longer trying to convince yourself that things will improve. You have stepped out of the argument entirely. And when the argument ends, the condition that depended on it ends too. This is the part no one talks about. The phase where you don't feel powerful. You don't feel spiritual. You don't feel manifesting. You feel empty, neutral, almost indifferent. And this neutrality is misinterpreted by the old mind as stagnation. But this neutrality is the womb of reconfiguration, because identity only persists through emotional reinforcement, and you have stopped reinforcing it. You are not thinking like the old self. You are not reacting like the old self. You are not anticipating like the old self. So the old self has nowhere to live. This is why you must resist the temptation to do something, to force movement, to check for signs, to restart techniques, to go back to trying. Trying is the language of the old identity. Being is the language of the new one. Notice how you move through the day now. Quieter inside, less commentary, less urgency, less inner noise. You are beginning to exist without the constant narration of lack. And without narration, lack cannot maintain form. Soon, reality will begin to reflect this internal stillness, but it will do so gently that you may miss it if you are looking for something dramatic. A delay that used to trigger anxiety will not happen. A conversation will go differently. An opportunity will feel natural instead of miraculous. This is how the new life enters. Without spectacle, without announcement, without emotional fireworks. Because this is not a miracle. This is a replacement of the one who lived the old story. And replacements are quiet. You may even forget what you were so worried about weeks ago. not because it was resolved in the way you imagined, but because it no longer has relevance to who you are becoming. And what is irrelevant disappears from experience. So if you feel like you are in a strange pause, a psychological stillness, a place where you are not chasing, not fearing, not hoping, do not interpret this as emptiness. This is completion. This is the end of the old self's participation in your life, and the beginning of a version of you that reality has no resistance to. Stay here longer than is comfortable, because comfort belongs to the familiar, and you are no longer interested in the familiar. You are allowing the unfamiliar version of yourself to stabilize, and once it stabilizes, reality will have no choice but to match it. So if today feels quiet, if nothing seems to be changing, if you feel suspended in a strange emotional neutrality, you are not stuck. You are in the exact place where transformation happens. Do not react. Stay still. Let the old identity finish dissolving, because the moment you no longer feel the urge to interfere is the moment reality has already started moving.